everybody. So this video is aimed at people planning on taking Geography A-Level at Richard Hewett College, and it's designed to accompany the work that we're asking you to do as part of the Head Start. Okay, so let me just enlarge this. You should have access to this Word document, and I just want to give you some hints and tips and a bit of help so you understand what you're doing. Okay, so the Huish Head Start Geography section starts with a mention of this YouTube channel and the fact that I'm making 4 videos aimed at Year 11, well Year 10 and Year 11 students really, who might be thinking about taking it. So, work to do to prepare you for the course. Part 1. Just realised that there is a typo there. Let's change that. Okay. So, on the 3rd page, you have 2 maps. All right. And if you find it difficult to look at and want to find a map that's kind of you can zoom in on or is just better quality, please can you notice the date? As long as it's a world political map for 1914, it doesn't necessarily have to be this particular map, and you're going to be contrasting it with the world political map 2007. To be honest, it could be slightly after that date, but it's got to be at least 2007. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to use these, it's the dates that is the important bit. So that's where you find them. And what I want you to do is to contrast. Now, contrast, as I've put in brackets, means find the differences between them. You are essentially playing a geographical game of spot the difference, ladies and gents. Okay, so if you could do that, there should be quite a few to notice. I'm just going to scroll down to point one of them out. So, you may just be able to make out that in Africa there is a country called Sudan. Well, in the second map, it has been split into Sudan and South Sudan. So that's the kind of thing that we want you to do. What has changed between those 2 maps? All right. And the second part of that task is to use the internet or parents or your general knowledge or whatever, do a bit of research and try and find out why those changes happened. Okay? Part 1, find the differences, make a note of them, list, spider diagram, whatever you want to. And then the second part of that task is to try and find out why those changes happened. We've given you a word count just for guidance. It doesn't have to be bang on 500 words, but if you only produce 50 words, clearly it's not quite what we're looking for. All right, so approximately 500. We don't worry if it's handwritten or typed, that doesn't matter to us at all, but you are going to hand that in. So that's part 1. Part 2 is a little bit of general knowledge, to be honest with you. But it will massively help you with the geography course and actually possibly quite a few of the courses that you choose to take. So we've listed 8 different time periods. They're not all equal in length. That doesn't matter, but we've listed 8 different time periods and we want you to choose 3 important events that happened within each of those time periods. So that's quite a few, all right? That's 24 events in total. Bit of times tables for you. So 3 events. They can be good, they can be bad, they can be inventions, discoveries, they could be war, they could be some awful natural disaster. It doesn't really matter. But what we would like is that obviously we're hoping that within a class of students, people will probably choose slightly different events. And then when we're in the induction phase of geography, which is the first couple of weeks, we can share the information and it will give us a nice foundation of knowledge to build on. So you know, we'll refresh our memory about things maybe like 9/11 in America, or people might talk about the world wars or whatever. It's just a little bit of a refresher, a bit of general knowledge that will really help you with the A-level. Okay, don't care about the format. You could do a Word document, a table, a PowerPoint, you could do poster, you could do revision cards. Honestly, not fussed. Whatever works for you. Part 3. Sorry if I don't want this to be in bad taste, and I'm sorry if it is. I don't think it is, but apologies if it does sort of hit home too much to any of you. We want you to try and think about how the COVID-19 pandemic links to geography. Now, we've given you a few suggestions there, but actually you could go off in all sorts of directions with this, so don't worry. I read a news story today, for example, saying that deforestation of the tropical rainforest is increasing because of coronavirus, because the authorities aren't able to go and check what's happening. They're not able to go and kind of keep tabs on what's going on. So just think about tourism, think about CO2 emissions. What do you think will change in the planet once coronavirus ends? Will we learn anything? Yeah, so it's a bit of research. And what we're going to do, the plan we've got for this, is some kind of class-based discussion. Because one of the things at A-level is that, firstly, the more kind of current, i.e. up-to-date your knowledge is, the better. They like you bringing in your own knowledge and understanding to the geography answers. And also, they like you to have opinions. They have to be reasonable opinions. They can't be extreme opinions, but they like you to have opinions about things. So you might have opinions about how tourism might change in the future, or you might see coronavirus as a real turning point for us all to start using more sustainable forms of transport in the future, or whatever. Okay, so that's a bit of research for a discussion. So we're not going to collect anything in, but we would just want you to have some things that you could contribute. And if you would feel more confident with handwritten notes, I know I generally do, then you might want to actually have something physical. And then finally, this is the last part that we want you to do. We would just like you to do a little bit of kind of quiz work, if you like, with your general geographical knowledge. It's quite embarrassing if you're studying geography A-level and somebody starts talking about the country of Africa. You're like, no! It's stuff like knowing how many continents there are and what their names are and what are the name of the oceans, and being able to find not every single country in the world, that, we wouldn't expect that of you, but to know where Russia was, for example, and to be able to find Australia on a map, that kind of thing. So we've suggested 3 different quiz websites, and you can do flags, and you can do outlines, you can do American states. Just a little bit of quizzing on your general geographical knowledge would be great. And then I'm sure some of you already know about this website, but if you feel like your general geographical knowledge is already pretty good, then you could try out GeoGuessr, which basically they give you a photograph of somewhere on the planet. Sometimes it's got clues, sometimes you don't get a lot of information at all, it has to be said, and you have to try and figure out where you are in the world. So that's quite a good bit of fun. So that's what we would like you to do. If you get completely stuck and have no idea what you're doing, if you email hello@huish.ac.uk, that's an email address that's in the prospectus, it's on the website, it's on every leaflet we ever produce. So if you have any major dramas and you're just really stuck and you don't know what you're being asked to do, as long as you clearly mark it geography, it will get forwarded to me, and then I can give you some help and make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, so yeah, email me if you get stuck. Best of luck with it.